So people and roles within serverless also changed. I think with the evolution of serverless, there hasn't been any new roles so much. It's been a tightening or a specialization of existing roles. So for myself, architect, if you come from like a software architect or an infrastructure architect background, you'll find that you need to be more focused on the different services that a cloud provider makes available. Because in your architecture designs, you really want to avoid inventing the wheel, doing unnecessary coding. So you need to be very aware which services are available, how they work together, what their limits are, the security considerations. For developers, there's been more of a focus towards certain languages that perform better in serverless architecture. And that's predominantly JavaScript or Node.js and Python. So these languages work very well. They have lower latency and generally work better. So these kind of programming languages or these skills are high in demand with these roles. But it's also about rethinking how you design applications. So we talked a bit about latency earlier. How you design a serverless backend is different to how you design a monolith. And these insights, this specialization is again something that developers are going to be working on as they become more and more serverless. Another trend that's been happening or evolution in the cloud is purpose-built databases. And this has been, especially with Amazon, a very hot topic. So traditionally, you would just pick a database and that was the database for the solution. But now because we're working with microservices, there's an opportunity to use different databases for different microservices and to split that out. And Amazon has really got on board with that by having quite a few different database services that each perform very well with a particular type of data. So you might have ledger type transactions, or you might have time series, IoT data versus file data versus relational data. Each one of these will have its own type of database service that is best suited for that particular task. And so you can use these purpose-built databases with the microservices that are managing that data. And so having someone on board that understands database design and database data and modeling can be a really good benefit to a serverless team. We've talked a lot about security and how it's become essentially, I don't know about more work, but it's certainly more involved in terms of managing the individual permissions between microservices and the users of a team. And so having someone on board that is very much focused on security can be very beneficial to a serverless team. Lastly, DevOps and deployment automation is a topic that comes up. I wouldn't necessarily advise having a specialist in the team for that, because with serverless, DevOps and coding is so integrated. These services and the code itself is all very much integrated. It's become kind of the same thing. So the different team members also all need to be very aware of DevOps and certainly how to use development pipelines and the typical tools that you have there. Now, having a specialist at the beginning maybe to help set things up, to do some knowledge transfer, that can be very beneficial. But definitely team members should all be very capable in this area.